Welcome spring and peak bloom to the National Cherry Blossom Festival in Washington, D.C. A symbol of international friendship. And these are the two women that were there on that planting day. A woman from the United States and a woman from Japan. And the two original trees have a commemorative plaque right here at the Tidal Basin, along with a lot of visitors celebrating spring, as well as lighting the way of a friendship between two countries. And we'll talk more about that as we walk through during peak bloom. Now, Japan sent trees to the United States of America that never made its way to this beautiful park or the festival. The Department of Agriculture found some insects in them that were not in this area, and they decided that it might not be safe for the trees that are here, so they burned them. And Japan sent even more. And we are walking the path right now towards the location where those original trees were planted in 1912. And there is a plaque that talks all about that location. The first Japanese cherry trees presented to the city of Washington as a gesture of friendship and goodwill by the city of Tokyo were planted on this site March 27th of 1912. And they say on this site because they don't exactly know where. Vandals took the original plaque. And the festival was not quite as big as it is today. Actually, it was probably less than 5, maybe even 12 people max at that first planting. But the park rangers give tours, and there's one right here in front of the Japanese stone lantern, which you see someone taking their pictures at right now. This is part of the Princess Celebration, where they will light the way, and the sister lantern in Japan will also be lit, eternally keeping that connection of friendship between the two countries. But the park ranger told me that this is what is believed to be the two original trees. And if you think about two women planting trees at the Tidal Basin before the festival, meaning the rest of these trees weren't here, they probably would have been planted in close proximity to each other. Also, there's another reason why it is believed that these are the two original trees, even though the plaques were stolen by vandals. Trees are all monitored by the Parks Department, and that's what these tags are for. And these trees are about 100 years old, as they have been monitoring. And look, they're able to participate in peak bloom. And that was the press release from the National Park Service this year on March 21st. Peak bloom, peak bloom, peak bloom. Over and over again. They shouted it with excitement, and everyone knew exactly what that meant. Head to the Tidal Basin, as it could be windy, and the blossoms could be gone before you know it. This year's peak bloom did arrive on March 21st. But that is not the only blooming that takes place in Washington, D.C. When they say peak bloom, they mean 70% of the trees alongside of the Tidal Basin are in full bloom. That's where we are walking right now. Now, if you went over to West Potomac Park, that is where you would find some of the Kwanzaa trees, and they'll bloom next. As well, you will find the commemorative tree that Michelle Obama planted. And guess what? It doesn't have a plaque either. But you can find it if you look at the photographs of the day when she did her planting and find the surrounding trees. I've done it, and I've got my pink on, ready to celebrate a little bit more. Grab a blanket and have some lunchtime under the cherry blossom trees. And this is a great thing because if you think about Washington, D.C., what's the thing people say most? They don't get anything done. People don't get along. People from all around the world come here today for cherry blossoms and flying kites, as it is what was once known as the Smithsonian Kite Festival, now the Cherry Blossom Kite Festival. And people of all different beliefs, all different political thoughts, all different nations, they all get along and they come together to look at flowers and fly kites. How awesome is that? And with that being said, welcome spring.